Hello and welcome back to Jules Math Tools. In our session today, we are solving a two-step equation when we have variables on both sides of the equation. So if you're ready, let's get started. Now, when solving our two-step equation, when we have variables on both sides of the equation, our first step would always be to collect our like terms together. So remember that in every two-step equation, whether you're collecting constants together or variables together, you always begin by seeing if you can group like terms together. And in this case, we have 4y and y, which are both like terms. So I'm going to be collecting them on the left-hand side of my equation. So I'll be moving my smaller variable, which is y, to my larger variable, which is 4y. And because our y on the right hand side is positive, that means that on the left hand side, I will be subtracting that y from my 4y. And now we will just return our 12 back to the equation. So now I'm going to simplify the left hand side of my equation. So 4y minus y will equal to 3y. Putting back my 12. And now we're going to move into our second step, remembering that 3y means that 3 is being multiplied to y. So to simplify this part of our equation means that I will be dividing both sides of my equation by my coefficient of 3. So both sides of the equation will be divided by 3. And then afterwards, we will simplify our fractions for our variable y. And simplifying, when 3 is divided by 3, that will leave us with 1. Remembering that 1y is the same thing as y. And then when 12 is divided by 3, 12 divided by 3, 3 divides itself once, 3 divides into 12 4 times. So my variable y will be equal to 4. Okay, so now let's perform our check. Remember, our check is just as important as solving our equation. And in solving for our variable, and in checking our answer when y is equal to 4 means that everywhere that y appears in the equation, I will now be replacing that with our number 4. And remember that your goal is to ensure that both sides of the equation, both left and right, is equal to the same thing. So we have 4 times 4, which is equal to 16. And when 4 is added to 12, that is also equal to 16. So that means that our y equals 4 is the correct solution for this equation. Okay, so here's our second example. Remember that you can feel free to pause the video, solve the equation for your unknown variable v, and then when you're ready, unpause the video and see if I got the exact same answer that you got when you solve your equation. So like we did in the first equation, we are going to begin by collecting our like terms. And I'm going to be moving my 3v to the left-hand side of my equation where my 18v is. So we have 18v. And since 3v is being added, it will be subtracted on the left-hand side. And then we return everything back to our equation that we didn't use, which is our 15. So when 18v subtracts 3v, we will get 15v equal to 15. And now to perform our second step, where we will be dividing both sides of our equation now by our coefficient of 15. Remember that we always divide by the number that is with our variable, which in this case is 15. So 15 divides into itself once, leaving us with just the variable v. And again, 15 will divide into itself once, which means that my variable v is equal to 1. So let's check our solution. And we said that v is equal to 1. That means we're substituting v with 1 everywhere that it appears in our equation. And we're checking to make sure that our number 1 justifies or verifies our equation, meaning that everything will work out to the exact same thing. So let me check my plus sign, which looks like a multiplication. So 18 times 1 is equal to 18. And then we have 3 times 1, which is equal to 3. And when 15 is added to 3, we will get 18 for both sides of our equation, which means that v equals 1 is the correct solution for this equation. Okay, so there you have it. We just solved the two-step equation when we have variables on both sides. Remember to get some additional practice in and continue to develop your skills. These equations are very easy and simple to solve as long as you know the steps that you need to use in order to solve your two-step equation. So until next time, this is Choose Math Tools, where we make math easy.